Happy New Year. I'm super excited to be here with you today, and I want to talk about New Year's resolutions, right? This is the time of year that more than 50% of Americans will make a resolution. And sadly, by next week, the second week in January, 25% of people will have already ditched said resolutions. By the second week in February, what's the number by then? 80%. 80% of people will ditch their New Year's resolutions by the second week in February. And by the end of the year, only 8% will actually achieve it. So 92% give up. That's not what we want. So I want to talk to you about how to achieve New Year's resolutions and give you some tips to achieve them. And the first thing I should make clear, I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I'm a very big fan of goal setting. So tomato, tomato, when I'm saying resolutions, I'm really referring to like goal setting. The reason I don't like resolutions is I feel like people hold off and wait like till the new year to do this when it's something you should be doing all along. And there might be something somebody wants to do in October or even September or November, and it's like, well, I'll just wait to the new year. And they get this mindset of like, why bother? I'll wait to the new year. And they put off. And to me, it's like, no, start now. Every day you delay is a day further away from your goal. And I remember back when I did nutrition, and people would say to me, well, there's no sense in starting, a nutrition plan now. It'd be like December. They're like, I'll just start in January. And I'm like, well, no, if you start now, maybe you won't gain the 5 to 10 pounds you normally do over the holidays, and you'll be better off in January. But that's why I'm not a big fan of resolutions. I think it gives people an excuse to delay getting started right away. But we're in the new year, so now there's no more delaying, right? So it's January 7th. It is time to hit the ground running. So I want to talk about some tips for actually achieving your goals for the year, because you set them to achieve them, right? You're not setting these goals to fail. That's never the plan, right? The plan is you want to achieve them. So let's jump right to it. If you guys know me, you know I like to just get right to it. So I'm just going to give you 5 tips to help achieve your goals for this year. So tip number 1 is to write them down. This is huge, okay? They've done studies and they have proven that people who write down their goals versus just saying them are 42% more likely to achieve them. How simple is that? Literally take a pen and paper, write down what your goals are for the year, and you're 42% more likely to achieve it, okay? Simple, right? It becomes more real. I think putting it in writing is like, this is legit. It's not just something in my head, right? It makes it real. It makes it something that you have to go after now, right? It's out there. And I also like to share them with people, like share it with as many people. So don't just write it and like shove it in a drawer. I remember when I was running for the biggest goal in my company, I had 6 months and I wanted to achieve, it was like 8 rank advancements in my company. I told everybody because then I was putting it out there. Now it was real. Now it wasn't just like something like a secret in my own head. I was sharing it with people, and it holds you accountable, and it makes you say like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. Like, this is real. They know about it, and I want to show them I can do this, okay? I think also when you write it down, I love journaling because you can talk about your struggles, your hopes, your wishes, everything, right? So if you're feeling frustrated at a certain point, you can just look back at like what your hopes and dreams and goals were with setting this resolution or goal, and it can inspire you in those tough times. So number 1, write it down, okay? Write it down. Number 2, I talked about being accountable, so it goes along with number 2, is get an accountability partner. And when I'm talking about goal setting, I'm mostly talking about business, right? Because I'm in network marketing and I coach people in network marketing. But it goes with anything, right? If your goal is weight loss or healthier eating or, stop smoking, whatever it is, if you have an accountability partner, it's someone that you can go through the journey with, someone to hold your hand and keep you accountable. Now, the biggest thing with an accountability partner is to make sure it's someone who's going to keep you accountable. Because what you don't want, right? So I have an accountability partner, and we would call each other and check in and say like, okay, what do you, where are you at with your business? How many reach outs are you doing? How much, income producing activity? Are you hosting any events? Are you doing an online event? We would help each other too, because we would half our work. So if I was doing an online event, I would invite her entire team to my event. She would invite my team to her event. So now I have twice as many things to plug my team into, to plug myself into, with half the amount of work. But we would hold each other accountable. What it can't be is a gripe session, right? You can't have an accountability partner and you call each other and you're like, I know, I'm so busy, I can't do this. I know, nothing's happening, I'm doing my work, right? Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you've ever had that experience where you start out and you have good intentions, you're excited to work with somebody, but then it's like, starts to go downhill and it becomes somebody that you can complain to or vent to, and you guys can talk about how things aren't going well together. That's not benefiting anybody, okay? Your accountability partner is somebody who's gonna keep you accountable, who's gonna say, listen, I did my work today, or did you do yours? And someone that you're gonna feel bad if you say I didn't do mine, right? It's gonna make you hold yourself accountable because you don't wanna let that person down. It's like, we're in this together, let's do this, right? That sort of mentality. So make sure that whoever you get for an accountability partner is somebody that's gonna push you and that you're gonna push. You need to push each other, okay? It's gotta be someone who, like, you're gonna keep your promises to each other, you're gonna keep your appointments with each other, and you're gonna keep them positive, and you're going to get off that phone call or the lunch meeting or whatever the heck it is with a plan of action, okay? And like specific tasks that you need to get done. Not just like, poof, I got all that venting off my chest. That's not helping anyone, right? So get an accountability partner. And if your goal is weight loss and nutrition, it'd be a workout partner, right? Or it'd be somebody to, go over your meal plans with. Okay, so write them down, have an accountability partner. The third one is to set smaller benchmarks. So when my goal was to get 8 rank advancements, like that was my big goal. And I was giving myself a pretty short timeline, right? I had to do it in 6 months. But I had to break it down into what I needed to do each month. There has to be small wins along the way, right? When someone wants to lose 50 pounds, that's daunting, that's overwhelming, and it takes time, right? I love big impossible goals, but if you have a goal that's so big that it's gonna take so long, you're gonna get frustrated before you get there. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up or let me know you guys are out there if you're resonating, if this makes any sense, okay? If your end goal is gonna take a lot of time, which hopefully it is, because hopefully you're setting a big goal, right? I don't want your goal to be something that you know you can do in 2 weeks. Like, you want a big goal, but have benchmarks along the way so that you have celebrations along the way. So you can pat yourself on the back and say, I did it. That's awesome. And it motivates you. Here's the thing, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to talk about this next week, but motivation comes and goes. You are never going to always be motivated. People are motivated now, right? It's the new year, it's exciting. In a couple weeks, life happens, you get a bad cold, your kids get a cold, you're busy with school, life happens. And now you're not as motivated. You're tired, you don't want to do the work. So you need things that are going to keep you fired up. And if you have this big end goal, it's just going to discourage you along the way. Because when the motivation wanes and then you're like, oh my God, I still have this far to go, it's very easy to give up and quit. But if you have little benchmarks, it's like, oh my gosh, look what I did. I achieved this. Okay, let's go. Next step. And it keeps you going along the way. It gives you wins along the way. You need small wins. You can't just wait for the big one. If you're just waiting for the 50-pound weight loss, that's exhausting. You have to celebrate, that I did my work every single day. I got a new customer. I helped a customer, get great results. I helped one of my business partners achieve an advancement. I signed a new business partner. All the wins along the way help to motivate you and inspire you to keep working toward the end goal. So make sure that even though you should have a big goal, you have wins all along the way, okay? And I'm talking into my phone, which is the group live. So if you're on my business page and I'm not looking at you, I apologize. I'm kind of looking at 2 here. The second one, the fourth one goes along with that. It's like, learn from your mistakes and reward yourself along the way. And here's the thing, too often we encounter setbacks and people just consider them failures and give up, right? Failure is part of it. Like, you're going to fail. But the key is to realize that it's not final, that it's a setback, that you take it, that you learn from it, you grow from it, and you keep going. And you reward the work you've done along the way, right? And I always use the example of kids, because I have 3 kids. It's like, when your kids were learning to walk or riding their bikes, how many times did they fall down before they figured this out, right? They fell down, they got back up. They fell down, they weren't like, oh, see, I can't ride a bike. It's like, well, no, you can't ride a bike yet, but what did we learn from that? Okay, you have to pedal faster, you have to keep pedaling. Like, they learn as they go until it becomes second nature. And it's the same with this. Failure is an essential component of success. Like, it's going to happen, so get used to it, right? There's always going to be challenges, but the key is to see them as opportunities to learn and to grow. Because too often, people will see one setback and it's like their excuse to get out and give up and quit. I've got to be honest, I've been in network marketing a long time, and I know nothing should shock me, but one of the most shocking things to me is how easily people give up. They're like, there will be people who are so fired up, so motivated. It's the new year, they're so excited. And by like 2 weeks in, they're like, I've been doing the work and nothing's happening. I'm like, it's been 2 weeks. Why do you think, like, you went to college for 4 years to get a degree before you could have your full-time job as a teacher, as a nurse, as an accountant, whatever the heck it is you do. Why on earth do you think in 4 seconds you're going to be successful in network marketing? It's a business. Most businesses take 5 to 10 years to become profitable. Luckily, network marketing is not like that. You can be successful very quickly, but why? Like, people give up way too quickly. You've got to keep going. So you've got to celebrate those wins along the way, learn as you go, what's working, what's not, use it as learning lessons, and keep going. It's a long game. And if you don't see results in a month or 2 months or 3 months, you need to keep going. You don't know when you're going to get your next big consultant. You don't know when the wins are going to happen. You have to keep going. And it's literally one of the biggest frustrations and shocks to me in this industry is how quickly people give up. That they like honestly can't believe they're not successful in a month. And they're like the most fired up, gung-ho. Give me a thumbs up or a yes if you've had someone on your team, right? Or you know somebody, or maybe you, right? They join, you're so excited. It's like, this is gonna be amazing. This is like my answer. And within like a month or two, they've given up. They're like, no, this doesn't work. And it's like, what? Like, you're brand new to this. You've got to learn from your mistakes. You've got to grow. You've got to keep going. And you've got to celebrate every single win along the way, even the really small ones. Right? Maybe you reach out to someone on your chicken list. That's a win. Celebrate yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And realize you did it, and get up and do it again the next day. And do it more. Okay? And then the last tip is to enjoy the process. Too often I see people so caught up in achieving the goal that they forget to enjoy the process, and they forget to enjoy the journey. And for me, yes, network marketing has been amazing. It's changed my life. But one of the greatest parts of this business is the people you will meet, the relationships you build, and the person you become. I am a completely different person than I was when I joined this industry. I was the most insecure person. I doubted myself. I worried what everybody would think. I was literally paralyzed in my fears. I'm not saying none of those things ever happened to me anymore, but I mean, if you asked me 6 years ago to get on a Facebook Live, I would have laughed at you. I was afraid to send a message to somebody. I've grown so much and learned so much about myself. You've got to embrace that, right? Like, so instead of looking at it as, oh, I don't know who else to talk to, look at the excitement of like, oh my gosh, I get to grow my network. I get to meet new, amazing people around the world. Like, I have met the most unbelievable people, and I never would have done it if it weren't for this business. There's people I've met through this business because they've come into my team or into my company. But there's also people I've met because I've had the guts to reach out, to put myself out there, which I never would have done if it weren't for this business. Does that make sense? So you've got to embrace that, enjoy that journey, right? It's the personal growth, the relationships, the development of yourself, right? And it's the same, again, like if someone's goal is exercise, they have to learn to enjoy the journey. If they're just getting up and grinding and hating what they're doing, how long do you think that's going to last? Right? If you're like, God, I hate doing reach outs, or I hate going to the gym, or whatever it is, it's not going to last. So if someone's telling you, like, for weight loss, like, you need to do spin class, and you loathe spin class, it's not going to stick. Find something you love. Maybe you just like going for walks. Great, do it. Anything you do is better than nothing. And if you're enjoying it along the way, you're more likely to stick with it. So focus on the positive. Focus on the benefits. Focus on what you're gaining from your business. Not just like, I want to hit this goal, I want to hit this goal, I want to hit this goal. Because that gets exhausting, that's going to burn you out, and there's no love and joy in that. So you've got to learn to enjoy the process. Think about the people you can meet, the relationships you can build, and the personal development that you're going to get along the way. You've got to learn to love the journey, because then you don't want to stop. And then you realize it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not just, let me hit this goal and this is it. Because then what? Are you done? No, you set another goal. It's about growing and pushing yourself, right? It's like that. I remember when I set my first big goal in my company, it was like mind blowing. Then you hit it and you're like, all right, let me go for the next one and the next one. I never set out to reach the top rank in my company. That was like so far fetched. But it's a journey, and it's like realizing what you're capable of and growing as a person and saying like, oh my gosh, I did that. What else can I do? And constantly growing and evolving. All right, so write down your goals. 42% more likely just for taking paper to pen, guys. It couldn't be more simple. Get an accountability partner, okay? Because it's someone who's going to hold your hand and keep you focused and on task. Set small benchmarks. Learn from your mistakes and celebrate your wins along the way, and learn to love the process and enjoy the journey, all right? Starting on Monday, January 13th, right in my Facebook group, Achieve Success, I'm going to be doing a 5-day boot camp, right? Just Monday through Friday. Every day I'm going to come live at 1:30. We're going to do training. I'm going to give you assignments. I will drop the link to register for it in the comments. So just make sure you click on that and you register. It's completely free. And it's just going to be a lot of training. And you can, if there's anything you definitely want me to cover or questions you have, you can message me or email me, and I will make sure we cover those in the boot camp. All right. So that's Monday, January 13th, free 5-day boot camp. And it's just going to be like a jump start. Like, this is what we need to get started and get you on your way to achieve your goals in network marketing and your business for 2020. All right. I will see you then. Have a great day.